Welcome to West Nile Virus, everybody. Caleb is gone again today. He's going to be gone until the end of the week. We're looking forward to his return. But until then, we are just going to be talking about more free agency. Or I shouldn't say free agency, NFL offseason moves. Okay, because this has been an insane offseason. Especially surrounding wide receivers. The transaction specifically that we're talking about today is the Tyreek Hill trade to the Dolphins from the Chiefs. Now, the interesting thing about this trade is, obviously, Tyreek Hill and Patrick Mahomes was kind of the dynamic duo that made the Chiefs offense work so well. Now, the question I think a lot of people have is, will Tyreek Hill and Tua be able to translate into that same sort of thing, into the same sort of connection as Mahomes and Hill? Because obviously they were just electric together. So we will just have to see about Tua, but that's what we're here to talk about today. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about is the Dolphins, what they gave up for Tyreek Hill. The Dolphins, first of all, gave Hill a 4-year, $120 million extension that averages about $30 million a year, and there are $72.2 million guaranteed, which makes him the highest paid wide receiver in NFL history, beating out Devontae Adams, who just signed with the Raiders to become the highest paid receiver. Now, the other thing they gave up in the actual trade was they gave their first round pick in 2022. They gave their second round pick in 2022. They gave their fourth round pick in 2022, and then they gave a fourth and a sixth in 2023. Now, honestly, my knee-jerk reaction was that this trade was bad for the Dolphins. That was my knee-jerk reaction. I was like, oh, wow, that was a dumb trade. Dolphins didn't. There's no reason for them to add a receiver. I don't see how their offense could be any good. Why would they add a receiver? Well, just straight up, I'm wrong. I was wrong about that. The Dolphins, first of all, still have a third-round pick, a fourth-round pick, a fifth-round pick, a sixth-round pick, and a seventh-round pick. Obviously, sixth, seventh, whatever, you usually don't get much value out of that. But, if they can get a good player in the third or fourth round, I think this trade actually works out really well for them. What a lot of people are worried about is Tua. I've seen a lot of people questioning Tua Tagovailoa being able to make the Tyreek Hill trade worth it. A lot of people are worried that he will, he throws too many incompletions. He's just not a good enough quarterback. And that's due to his success in the past 2 years, or his lack of success, especially surrounding the entire team's lack of, total success. They've done okay, but not great. They just fired their coach, Brian Flores, as everyone knows. So it'll be a new coach for Tua, but that's all right. I don't think Tua has anything to worry about. And I don't think you Dolphins fans have anything to worry about in Tua. I'm gonna lay down the law for you right now, in terms of Tua's stats. So first of all, looking at some stats from Tua. So he has, in terms of passing accuracy, his bad throw percentage. So percentage of poor throws per pass attempt, not counting like spikes and just throwing the ball away. In 2020, his rookie year, was 18.8% bad throws, 16.3% in 2021. So it went down by over 2%. That's actually pretty significant. 16.3% bad throws is less, a smaller percentage of bad throws than any season in Patrick Mahomes' career. Better than Zach Wilson by a lot. I'm just comparing it to kind of some different quarterbacks. Tom Brady, it's better than any of the last 4 years of Tom Brady. And it's not as good, interestingly enough, as most of Kirk Cousins's years. So Kirk Cousins is a very, in terms of safe passes, he throws a lot of safe, accurate passes, kind of a Drew Brees kind of thing, where he doesn't really throw the ball, doesn't make as many risky throws. But the one thing I will say about that specific stat is I think Tua needs to make sure that he does make those risky throws. He's, especially with Tyreek Hill, he's going to have to throw some bad passes. Obviously, don't just get crazy with it, but he's going to have to go down. He's going to have to work on his deep accuracy and throw it down the field more. But he can do that. We've seen him do it before. In college, he did it. He was good at it there. So why can't he be good at it here on the Miami Dolphins? The other thing to look at with Tua is his interception percentage. Now, this past year, he had a 2.6% interception, and this is from attempts, percentage of interceptions per attempt. Goodness, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, 2.6% interceptions. His career over the past 2 years, 2.2%. Patrick Mahomes' career, 1.6. So Patrick Mahomes has been safer with the ball. Zach Wilson, though, 2.9%, so higher. Tom Brady's career interception percentage, though, is 1.8. So better than Tua, but not way better. And obviously, I'm not saying that Tua needs to be Tom Brady or that Tua is anywhere close to being Tom Brady. But what I am saying is I don't think his rise in interception numbers this past year is anything to be too worried about. I think he needs to protect the ball a little better, but he's done pretty well in terms of getting pressured, not throwing away too many interceptions. He's actually done pretty well. When you look at his pressure percentage, times pressured per drop back, he has the Dolphins have surrounded him with a good offensive line. So he's actually got a pretty low pressure percentage when compared to these other guys that I've been comparing him to. The only one who has a better pressure percentage is Tom Brady, which I think is very interesting. But yeah, he's the only one. Tua in 2020 was pressured 14.7% of the time, and in 2021, 20.9% of the time. Now, gladly, they did upgrade at offensive line. They added 2 good offensive linemen this year. So that is really, really big news for Tua. Now, the thing is, if I am the Dolphins, I focus on Tua's deep ball, and from here on out, I focus on my defense. Because honestly, I think the Dolphins' offense this year should be absolutely insane. I think Tyreek Hill is actually a great acquisition. They've got some good offensive linemen this offseason. They've got Jalen Waddle. They've got Raheem Mostert. They've got, and I'm not saying, their running backs are the biggest name guys in the league. They're not. But that's fine. You don't need big name guys at running back as long as Tua can figure out how to spread the ball around, check it down to the running back if he's getting pressured. Check it down to Mike Gesicki if he's getting pressured. I mean, they've got Jalen Waddle, Mike Gesicki, Tua, Tyreek. What more can you want? This should be an amazing offense. If it's not good this year, if Tua does not do well this year, maybe it is time to start looking at other options, or look at the coaching. But I mean, I don't see that happening. I think they're going to be good this year. I don't think they're Super Bowl contenders. I do not think the Dolphins are Super Bowl contenders with this trade. But I do think they could challenge the Bills for the AFC East. Now, moving to the Chiefs side of the trade, what other things were they offered for Tyreek Hill? Jets offered the 35th pick, the 38th pick, and the 69th pick. Now, the picks that they got from the Dolphins were the 29th pick, the 50th pick, and I believe the 121st pick is either the 121st or it was the 125th. But they could have got the 35th, 38th, 69th from the Jets. They would have had to give up the 103rd pick, though. But that was an okay trade for them. I think that they were going to do it, but it was up to Hill, and Hill decided he wanted to go to the Dolphins, which I think was smart. But honestly, I think getting that first round pick from the Dolphins, the first round and the second round, I think that was really big. I think that was actually an okay trade for the Chiefs if they were going to get rid of Tyreek Hill. I think it wasn't too bad. Getting another first would have been nice. Maybe if they had just said, hey, give us the first, the second, and then the first next year. But there's no way the Dolphins would have done that. That's a big trade. So if they had been able to get it, it would have been nice, but that's fine. I think it's an okay trade for them if they have to get rid of Tyreek Hill. That being said, though, they're not. I don't think they're going to be a great team this year. I do not think they have even a chance to win the AFC West. With the Broncos getting so much better, the Chargers getting so much better, and the Raiders getting better too, I don't see the Chiefs winning this division. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me. They have been on a streak of winning this division year after year after year. I think they could lose this division. I think they could be the worst team in this division this year. In terms of offensive line, I know some people have been talking about that. They lost Eric Fisher, Mitchell Schwartz, and Austin Reiter, which is two of their tackles and their center. But they signed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 offensive line. One was Andrew Wiley, who was a re-sign. So they signed 5 new offensive linemen, one of which was Joe Thuney, one which was Orlando Brown, Mike Remmers, Kyle Long, and Austin Blythe. Offensive line wise, they should be fine. Chiefs need to continue to work on their defense. And I mean, honestly, the big question mark at this point for me is Patrick Mahomes. Interestingly enough, Mahomes led the league in pressured dropbacks this past season. He was the number one quarterback he was the number one pressured quarterback this season. Next up was Derek Carr. But an interesting stat, he created over 24%, almost 25% of his own pressured dropbacks. So it wasn't his offensive line's fault. It was his fault. He created almost a quarter of all the pressures that he got, which was, by the way, almost 240 pressured snaps, which is insane. He was pressured in this past year about 22.1% of the time that he dropped back, but he created over a quarter, or not over a quarter, but almost a quarter of those himself. He needs to be careful. It's really, really worrying. They need to work on that with Patrick Mahomes. You can't be pressured and force yourself into throwing interceptions, force yourself into throwing bad passes, throwing it away, whatever, getting sacked. you have to be careful with that. I know Patrick Mahomes is a great player. He's a great quarterback. No one is questioning that. But I think they need to work on that with Patrick Mahomes this offseason. The other thing in terms of the Chiefs, people are talking about their wide receivers. They have, in terms of the bigger name receivers, they've got Juju Smith-Schuster. They have Mecole Hardman, and they have Josh Gordon. Now, if Josh Gordon can, turn things around, actually play this year, that might be okay. Josh Gordon's a really good receiver. We haven't seen him play in years, not really, but if he can come back at the level that, he played his first season at, they're fine. But I don't see that happening. They do still have Travis Kelce, which is, one of the best targets you could ask for. They re-signed Darrell Williams. They have Clyde Edwards-Helaire at running back. To me, though, the Chiefs did get worse with this loss because having Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill and Clyde Edwards-Helaire or Darrell Williams or whatever running back, having 2 or 3 threats on the field at all times was how, big threats, was how the Chiefs created so much offensive pressure with Andy Reid. And losing their number 1 or number 2 threat, that's, depending on whether you think Travis Kelce or Tyreek Hill is a bigger threat. Honestly, I would say number 2. Statistically speaking, Travis Kelce gets more yards than Tyreek Hill does, but that he's still just an amazing receiver, and losing him is rough for the Chiefs organization. To me, I think they did get worse with this trade. I think they could be okay, but I don't see them winning the division this year. My prediction for the AFC West, well, you know what? That's just going to have to wait. But I don't think it's the Chiefs. I do not think it's the Chiefs. I'm as far as grading this trade, honestly, for the Dolphins, I love it. My knee-jerk reaction was like, F, terrible, bad trade. Why would you do that? It was completely unnecessary. Looking at it closer, having Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill is a little bit like Mecole Hardman, Tyreek Hill. You've got, one really fast guy, Tyreek Hill. You've got Tyreek Hill, and then you have another really fast, pretty good threat on the other side. And the thing for the Chiefs is, can Mecole Hardman step up? And I don't think he will be as good as Tyreek Hill. I love Mecole Hardman so much, but I don't think he is as good as Hill. We'll just have to see in terms of the Chiefs receivers, though. But in terms of grading the transaction on both sides, for the Chiefs, I give this it's a C to me. It's okay, maybe, if they had to do it, but I don't love it. I do not love the trade. They needed Tyreek Hill to me to maintain that offensive pressure. But Andy Reid is the offensive mastermind, and it's up to him. We will just have to see what he does with this team this year. But to me, that transaction was a C for the Chiefs. C for Chiefs. So there you go. And following that logic, this must be a D for the Dolphins, but incorrect. It is so much better than that. That was my initial reaction. As I said a minute ago, I was like a D, F, no, bad. Why do it? No, I disagree with myself now. I think this is sort of an A- for them. I don't think, it was necessary, but I think it could make them a way better team. Adding a insane threat like Tyreek Hill is really good. Now, in terms of the draft, looking at looking towards the draft, what should the Dolphins do in the draft now that they've only got 5 picks, only one pick in the first 3 rounds, only one pick in the first day. And the Chiefs now have Chiefs now have 2 first-round picks, 2 late first-round picks. Now, where should they go with that? Honestly, I wouldn't mind picking a receiver in the first round here. Caleb and I have both talked about how we're not sure picking skill positions in the first round is often a good idea. But honestly, in this situation, I think that might be the best way for them to go. They have created a dynasty on having, just offensive threats everywhere on the field. And if they can add another great threat in the draft, add another great receiver, that would be awesome. If not, though, they need to go defense. Defense in the first round is always the best bet. And if I were them, I might even try and trade up with my 2 firsts, try and get, one of the top few picks, say, hey, we'll give you our 2 firsts and, one of our, our 5th or something like that. And give us like the 3rd pick and get a good defensive player. They need to make their defense better. I would say it'd be better for them to go defense and then try, because this is a wide receiver heavy class, try and pick up a receiver a little bit later, 2nd or 3rd round. They have plenty of picks. They've got 2 first rounds, 2 second rounds, a 3rd round, and 2 3rd round picks. It was compensatory, and I believe they've got 2 fourths. So they've got a lot of picks in the first 4 rounds. So if I were them, I'm going very defense heavy. Somewhere in there, try and draft one of these good receivers that are in this draft. But yeah, to me, if you don't want to go, trade up with your picks, I honestly, looking at it now, I would say don't. Try and draft 2 good defensive players in the first round. Go 2 defense picks back to back. There's plenty of good defensive players. There's a lot of good D linemen. If they need one, maybe they can trade up for a D lineman. Maybe don't trade both your firsts, but move up a few picks to secure one of the good D linemen in the draft. Get a good corner maybe. But to me, yeah, Chiefs need to go defense. Dolphins obviously need to go defense. I think their offense is set now. I don't think the Dolphins need to improve their offense at all. It's completely up to Tua this year. If Tua does well this year, boom, done. Improve your defense, you're a Super Bowl contender. But if he doesn't, maybe look somewhere else. So yeah. In conclusion, Tyreek Hill, you're pretty much set, dude. That was a good pick in terms of teams to go to. I think that was a good pick. You're going to get tons of money, and I think you'll get tons of passes, probably. Don't know how you wouldn't. Probably would have anywhere you went, but you're going to get tons of looks, and you maybe in the next few years will get another chance at a Super Bowl, depending on how the Dolphins, front office affects the team. Chiefs fans, as a bleak looking trade, it's worrying more than anything as to why Hill wanted out. It could have been money. I haven't seen a reason. Maybe I'm just blind to something, but yeah, it's worrying that Hill wants out of the organization, one of the top players. But you're good for now. So keep your chin up, Chiefs fans, and Dolphins fans. It's looking good. But thank you so much for listening, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, yeah, we post to YouTube and Spotify and Anchor. A couple of other places. I think we're on iTunes as well. We have an Instagram and Twitter, and as I said before, YouTube, all at West Nale Virus. West Nale Virus. So it's like West and then Nail, but not like a nail. It's Nale. So West Nale Virus. Thank you so much for listening and have a great day. Peace out.